and welcome back to Mad's World. This week we're discussing the L word. When should we say it? How soon is too soon? What does it all mean? I spoke about the ins and outs of love this week with Charlie, a mate I met through my housemate Molly. I keep trying to get Molly on the podcast, but she wants her debut to be something really special, so stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoy my chat with Charlie. Hello, Charlie.
Hello. I've been waiting to say that for so long.
So many people have said that. So my friend Gemma came on the podcast and did the exact same thing. She's like, I've just wanted to say that to you for so long. How are you?
It's your catchphrase now. I'm doing very well, thank you. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. We've been talking about it for ages.
I know, we really have. I remember when the podcast was first in its stages of fruition, you were very supportive of the pod, so that was really fun.
I'm proud of you. You've done really well.
Thank you. Well, let's just jump into our speed date round so that everyone can learn a bit more about Charlie. So how did you and I first meet?
We met through our friend Molly, your housemate. She's my friend from uni, and came down to visit you guys in London. And then I guess just like intermittently visiting.
Yeah, and I've been trying to get Molly on the podcast for ages, but she's reluctant to come on until we have something really special to talk about. So if you do think of anything, let me know.
Yeah, that sounds like Molly.
And how long have you been in a relationship?
Must be about a year and 3 months.
Okay, nice.
Something like that.
And then previously, how often would you say that you go on dates? So are you quite a dater? Are you more of a relationship guy?
At uni, I would go on dates a little semi-regularly, I guess. But yeah, I'm more of a serial relationshipper.
Serial monogamist.
Yeah, but I guess that also means like serial breakups. I don't know. Maybe I'm doing something wrong.
Cool. All right. Well, then what's your usual type? So if you're a serial monogamist, is there something that kind of ties all of your past relationships together, or are you more of a diverse kind of guy?
Looking back, yeah, it's quite diverse. I think it's always been the people who I can laugh the most with. Whoever has like the same sense of humor as me, and trust as well is another big thing. If I just like trust someone and I believe that they're being themselves and allowing me to be myself and nothing's too fake or anything like that. And yeah, but mostly just making each other laugh. I think that's the main thing.
And I think both of those things, trust and laughter, are so important. I guess that's why some of the best relationships are born out of friendships, which is what we've talked about in the past on the podcast. But yeah, I guess those two things sort of go hand in hand when, you get to know someone on more of an intimate level as a friend, and then it kind of develops into something more.
Exactly.
Yeah. Our last question is, what is the best thing about being in a relationship?
Well, there's obviously the companionship, I suppose, of always having someone that's there for you and always being there for them. And me and my girlfriend Lena, we've pretty much always been traveling when we're together, kind of bouncing back and forward, doing like season work. So we're always traveling together, on the road together and stuff, having adventures, meeting new people all the time, and sharing that experience with someone, making memories together.
Yeah. That's really awesome. And I think, traveling solo is fun, and I've always enjoyed traveling solo, but when you do go with friends, it's sort of nice to have, or a girlfriend, it's nice to have someone to look back on and laugh and stuff about all of those memories. So yeah, that's a really nice point. I have to say as well, you have a very soothing voice for the podcast, so I think listeners are hopefully going to love this ep, because you have a very like chocolatey smooth voice.
Oh, I'll take chocolatey smooth every day of the week. I'm not looking forward to hearing it back though. I'm one of those, I can't stand the sound of my own voice. You're probably used to it by now.
I'm used to it. I actually started to like the sound of my own voice, which is helpful because I have to listen to it so much. But a lot of people say that they're terrified to hear their voice on the podcast, and then they're actually pleasantly surprised. So I'm hoping that you're one of those people and not someone who's cringing while they're listening.
Okay. Let's find out, I guess.
So to kick us off, this episode, we thought it would be a great idea to talk about the L word, the illustrious L word.
The L bomb.
The big L bomb, because you have a funny story about one of your exes or a girl that you were with. And I'll just throw over to you to tell your story. And then I've got a couple that I can back it up with. And we can have some question time as well.
Okay. I'll see what I can do. So I met this girl at graduation, actually, which was like, quite romantic setting. Yeah, everything kind of went quite quickly. We wanted to get to know each other, and we ended up spending a lot of time together. At this time, I already knew that I was about to leave the country to go to Japan. So I was very much like, is this the best idea? Let's just see how things go. We spent a lot of time together. We went on a date out in London. We went to the theatre. She was really into musical theatre, so was I. We went to see Book of Mormon. It's a really great show. I loved it. I cried, even though it's a comedy. I got like all emotional.
Yeah, I've heard that it's great. Yeah, and it's something that I have to see. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be on for a while with Corona and everything, but yeah, I heard it's one to watch.
And I got to like the end of the performance, and they're doing like roll call and like showing off, and I was like furiously applauding and like whooping, and I was kind of acutely aware of her, like kind of looking at me rather than looking at the stage.
Oh no.
And I think I already kind of knew like what might have been coming. And I was like, ooh. So I just kept on like shouting like a maniac. And then like I kind of like glanced over, and I heard her say it. I heard her go, I love you.
Oh God, you weren't ready.
I just kept cheering. I just like looked back at the stage, just carried on clapping, like didn't look over for as long as I could.
Oh
like no eye contact.
So you've completely just pretended you didn't hear her. Do you think she knows that you heard?
No, we never talked about it.
Oh my!
We never talked about it.
And she never said it again.
She said it again soon after, and I said it back. But at that time, I was like, no, and just pretended it didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, hopefully she's not listening, but I think because saying I love you is such a challenging thing, and it's something that everyone will go through. I mean, hopefully go through at least once in their life. There's good and bad scenarios that everyone's experienced when saying I love you, and I think I've got a couple that they're quite funny. So one of my high school boyfriends was throwing up into the toilet while I was rubbing his back and telling him it was all going to be okay.
Romantic.
And I know, and he turned around with vomit all over his chin. He says, I love you. I'm like, please, not like this. Not like this.
No, you don't.
And then I was fuming at him because I'm like, you've ruined what is supposed to be a really romantic moment, especially when you're like 19 and you're quite young and everything.
It's supposed to be like one of the highlights, right?
Yeah, it's meant to be like a milestone. I can just remember it so clearly.
But yeah, I mean, you never forgot it.
Yeah, exactly. And then my most recent boyfriend, not most recent now. I currently do have a boyfriend, but my boyfriend last year, this is kind of a different story. So we met, and then we'll get into this a bit later, but I think it was a little bit of what I thought was a love at first sight sort of vibe. And we ended up, because I was going to Bali and there was potential for me not to come back to the UK like a month after we met, everything, like the trajectory of our relationship was really fast. And he ended up telling me, like, saying I love you 2 weeks into even meeting me. And I mean, we were drunk, and yeah, it all happened so quickly, and I said it back, and it was just, the trajectory, as I said, was so fast and so steep. It was, quite insane actually. But I think,
I guess if you're spending a lot of time with one person for an extended period of time, then everything does get like heightened.
Yeah, exactly. And I think as well, it wasn't like, looking back on it, it definitely wasn't love, because I think like that initial attraction that you feel to someone and like a strong pull, and when you kind of see the potential for love there, can kind of be misconstrued. So yeah, I don't know, it was a strange one. And then I think looking back, it wasn't actually love, it was just a bit more lust and kind of like heartbreak.
Very emotional.
Yeah. And my most recent boyfriend, I think, I don't want to get too into it because it is still very new and everything, but when we were starting out, I would just say I love you in different languages to him so that he didn't know what I was saying.
How many languages can you say?
Oh, I would just like sometimes make it up. I would just say like te amo, like speak Spanish, or
make
like
up your own language.
Je t'aime, like and then I'd try and speak German and make it up, because I'm like, if he doesn't know that I'm saying it, then I'm not really saying it. And I was bursting to say it, and I would just say it in another language so that he wouldn't know. But he knew, so that was that didn't work quite so well. But So this brings us to our left on red round, which is a really exciting round this week because we've had lots of different questions from listeners, and I think it's a universal topic. It's something that everyone goes through. So yeah, we've got some great questions. So the first question on our list is, do you believe in love at first sight?
I definitely believe in attraction at first sight. I don't know if I believe in love at first sight, because I think that to love someone does depend on really knowing that you can be yourself around them, trusting them, developing those memories, like positive and negative. I don't think you can take one look at another person and then like know straight away.
Yeah, I think you can definitely look at someone and see potential there, and like there is the initial attraction and then sort of the initial flirtation and everything, and you can sort of see potential, like I could potentially love this person, or it could be a potential like future relationship for me. But yeah, I mean, it depends what we're defining love is, which we'll get to in a sec.
Exactly, and that's so difficult to do, and it's different for every person.
Exactly.
I think two people can look at each other and straight away be like, okay, I want to know more now.
That's so true. I want to know more, and like I feel a connection to this person and I'm not sure why, and like I'm willing to explore that and see where it goes.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Okay, well, our next question is, when is too soon to say I love you? So I think for this one, there's so many different rules and regulations and everything that like society or your friends or your family or whatever will put on things like you have to have gone on 5 dates, or you shouldn't say it during sex, or XYZ. But I do think that not everyone develops love or expresses it at the same pace, and there is a lot of pressure like to maybe say it back if you don't feel it, which I think some people might consider quite cruel. Or what do you think?
It's so difficult because it's going to be so different for every person, but I'd say the right time is when you really mean it and you really want to say it. But equally, if there's any doubt about whether you do, or if you think, oh, maybe it's too soon, then it probably is. Like you should be really wanting to make sure that person knows how you feel about them.
Do you think as well, is timing more important than honesty and self-disclosure? So do you think it matters if people say it at the same time, or if just being honest about how you feel with someone, like is it important to play those games and sort of wait till you think the other person might say it back?
I think honesty is more important. I think if you are ready to say it to someone, then you should say it. You shouldn't preoccupy yourself with whether that person's going to say it back or not. Equally, if someone says it to you, you shouldn't feel obliged to say it back if you're not ready.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this brings us to our next question as well. What happens if you don't want to say it back, and how do you avoid doing that in a non-awkward way? So someone on Instagram suggested if someone tells you they love you and you don't feel the same way, you can say, I love me too, which I think is quite savage. I wouldn't suggest that because you probably...
I'm great, aren't I?
Yeah, I love me too. Thanks. But yeah, on a serious note, if you don't want to say it back, I feel like if you could gently say to someone, if it is someone who you trust and someone who is a friend to you and someone who you deeply respect, you can say, I'm not ready to say it, and I am on the right track to get there and stuff, but I want to be honest with you and let you know that I'm still kind of on the way there. I mean, I feel like it would still hurt either way. It would hurt me to hear that, but at least you know that it's not like a lost cause,
Sure, and I think it would be worse to tell someone that you love them if you didn't mean it.
I think it's quite cruel.
Yeah, if you're at that level of intimacy with someone already, then it should be fine. Although, maybe it's going to be hurtful at first, but it should be okay to just look them in the eye and say, look, I'm really sorry, I'm not ready to say that yet.
Yeah, and giving them the confidence that it is on the right track and you are getting there. But I guess, and as you said, it's such a subjective thing for everyone. Like maybe someone might have never been in love before. They don't know what love means. And I mean, what does it mean to say I love you? What does it mean to you if you're saying I love you to someone?
What a question. How long do we have?
I know. This is the deep questions we're asking. I asked my boyfriend and he just said it means I want the best for you and at all costs. So I guess maybe it's kind of about putting somebody else first.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, I really like that as well. Because I was kind of like, I was looking through the questions and I was asking him, I'm like, what would you even say for this one? It's so deep. But I thought putting the other person first and wanting the best for them, not even putting them first, but just hoping that, they're feeling fulfilled and happy and everything. I think that's, quite
that's
key.
really nice. I think it's partially as well is being fully prepared to like welcome someone to be part of your life, embrace them, to really share this next period of your life together.
Yeah, for sure. And just share like the experiences you're going through, as you said, with travel and everything. Yeah, kind of opening up and saying, I want you to be a part of this and I want you to make these memories with me and be a part of my life.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and this is another really interesting question that we had. As a straight man, do you feel like there's more pressure for you guys to say I love you first in a straight relationship?
I don't personally feel that. I've certainly never felt that before. I'm wondering if it's perhaps something maybe that would come from the female, from a girl who thinks that they can't say it first for whatever reason. These days there's some like gender stereotypes sort of getting broken down more and more. I think then those kind of cliches will start to fade as well. But personally, no, I've never felt pressure. I've said it to people before, and I've said it if I'm ready, and if I'm not ready, then I've said, sorry, darling.
Soz, babe. Or you just pretend to not hear them and clap louder.
Yeah, we'll just keep clapping and shouting.
Love Book of Mormon. Woo! Yeah.
What a show.
I think this question probably stems from just the idea that women are always like chasing men around and kind of not wanting to overstep that boundary in the risk of pushing a guy away, and just the stereotype that men have more of a commitment phobia than women do. But yeah, as you said, as gender stereotypes are becoming a bit more fluid and those sort of walls are breaking down, yeah, I think it's becoming less and less important because, yeah, as I said, it is just a stereotype and actual relationships don't work so rigidly.
Very well put. Far better than I did.
That's okay. I mean, yeah, I guess it's becoming more apparent that when I listen back to the podcasts and edit them, I'm like, wow, I've actually nailed that.
Oh, whilst we're bigging up you, congrats on your sobriety. You've inspired me as well. I'm 18 and a half days
Oh my
sober,
God,
so thank
that's
you for
beautiful.
that.
Have you done dry Jan then successfully?
Successfully so far. I've been on the the Heineken Blue and the alcohol-free wine.
Yes, I had some of that. I had alcohol-free prosecco. It actually tasted really alcoholic, and I was quite triggered. I'm like, is this definitely got no alcohol in it? But yeah, no, it was interesting. But yeah, congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you for inspiring me.
I really love to hear that. I love good feedback. So if you're out there listening, feel free to shoot me a message and let me know how much you love me, because it makes me feel really good.
You could just completely ignore them.
You just keep clapping. Keep on clapping and talking about how much I love Book of Mormon. All right. Well, our next question is, does the L word matter when you prove it with your actions? And so I thought this would be a good time to bring up something I found really interesting, and I want everyone after this podcast, I'll put a link in the description to go and suss it out. It's called The 5 Love Languages, and if you haven't heard of it before, basically it's like an online quiz and a book by, I'll have to source the author, I can't remember, but it's the idea that there are 5 different ways that humans show and receive and like enjoy receiving love from one another. So it's words of affirmation, which is basically someone telling you they love you or telling you how beautiful you are or whatever. Quality time, which is, what it says on the tin, like spending quality time with your partner, giving and receiving gifts. Acts of service, which is kind of like washing the dishes for someone, would be like how you'd show that you love them rather than telling them or giving them a gift or whatever. And the last one is physical touch. So I think in terms of this question, does the L word matter when you prove it with your actions? It really depends on how you do like to give and receive love. And you may have never thought about how you like to receive love or how your partner likes to receive love. But I really encourage you to go on the website. I'll put the link in the bio and do the quiz, because I found out that although I like to be told how much I'm loved all the time, giving love in that form may not be as effective for them, and it may not be something that they know that they have to give me to show that I'm loved, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, to me, the L word does matter, because I like to be told that I'm loved and I like to be shown love in that way. But for other people, it might be, acts of service, physical touch, quality time, or receiving gifts. So they might feel more loved through those different types of love. So do you think the L word matters when you are proving it with your actions, or do you think it matters less?
I think it matters less. I think it's still obviously nice to be told, but I certainly don't need to hear it like every day or every time someone leaves the room or anything like that.
I do. I need to hear it all the time where I'm like, you've fallen out of love, haven't you?
Maybe we're not compatible,
We're
Maddie.
not. which is okay. Cool. Well, yeah, I encourage everyone to go and check it out because it is really interesting, and you might learn something about yourself and your partner. And I think it's really strengthened my relationships, even with friends, because I know one of my good friends, Pip, I think she loves physical touch. So if she's feeling sad, you just give her a hug. You just want a hug, you know? Whereas I just want to be told that it's all going to be okay, because like we give and receive our love in different ways. And I think it's really strengthened, my friendships with people as well, just knowing how they like to be supported and everything. So yeah, go give it a try as well after our call and let me know what you get, because it is quite interesting.
I will.
So our next question is, have you ever fallen in love only to look back on it and realize you were never in love before?
That's another difficult one. All of these questions are really difficult, man.
It's not me, it's the people, Charlie.
I think every relationship is different. Not just because of the two different people involved, but you can have a relationship with one person and then have a completely different relationship with another person. So I would say if you're feeling it at the time, probably you are in love to some extent. And then obviously if it ends, particularly if it ends like badly or like sour, then it's going to be a lot easier to look back and think like, no, I never felt those things that I thought I felt. But I guess it's all comparative.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say is if you fall in love again, maybe with a new partner, a new boyfriend or a new girlfriend or whatever, if you're comparing it to the love that you're feeling for that person at that time, it is hard to look back and imagine how you felt differently for another person in your life at all. And I guess you can love people in different ways. Like me and my current boyfriend were quite close friends before. So I think we have sort of that deeper level of respect for each other and that we've had that deeper level of fun together. Whereas my previous boyfriend, it was more, as I was saying, lust and like initial attraction and everything. And then it sort of just, it had no real foundation or like stronghold kind of keeping everything together. So I think that's why it fell apart so easily. So yeah, I guess it's all so hard to analyze when you're in the situation, but hindsight is 20/20, isn't it? You can look back and everything looks totally different.
Absolutely. And you can get through that like honeymoon phase where the kind of initial excitement and like joy of it all is settling down a bit now, and it's becoming more like a just like regular part of your life. And then you can start to think like, how much am I really enjoying? How much do I really like this person, you know?
Yeah, and once the excitement wears off, it's sort of all you're left with is just like a strong relationship and friendship with that person. And if the excitement was sort of what was keeping everything together, it can fall apart quite quickly, can't it?
That's very true. Where were you all these years?
I know. The guru. So our final question is, does love change as we get older, and how? And I think this sort of ties into what I was just saying. I guess, as we said, it is all quite situational and you can look back on things and it's totally changed. Like if I look back in high school when I thought I was in love with my very first boyfriend, it's just laughable. Like I think the respect and like the amount that like we shared with each other, which was probably quite minimal, like just like the deep level of friendship and affection that I've had with boyfriends since is just incomparable. But I don't know. What do you think? How do you think love changes as we get older?
I think it becomes more about what you learn from about yourself in a relationship. So with every relationship you have, whether it be a month or 2 years, you will learn something about how other people want to be treated, how you want to be treated, the things you do or don't do that people may or may not like. And so you learn from all of those experiences, and it's like stepping stones. And then eventually, in theory, your final relationship should be stronger.
Yeah.
And so your love will change in that way.
I'm so glad you said this. This is, that is I think that is so true. And all of the relationships that you sort of have, you learn what you do and don't like and the people you are and aren't compatible with. And hopefully by the time you are with the person that you're going to end up with for quite a long time, like whether that lasts down the line or whatever, it is a relationship that can make you happier than most others because you sort of have learnt so much about yourself through all of your different experiences with other people.
Absolutely. It's a period of self-reflection as much as it is like what you're getting from the other person. Every relationship is a give and take, or at least it should be. So yeah, the more you're learning about what you're giving, then you're going to have a more positive outcome in the end. I hope, anyway.
Yeah, I think it's good to sort of reflect how you sit individually in your relationship as well as how you sit together, just because, I mean, at the end of the day, it is a massive learning experience, every relationship we have.
Sure.
Well, thank you so much, Charlie, for joining the pod. I can't believe we have run out of all of our questions, but was there a note that you wanted to leave it on for everyone, or any final words that you wanted to say before we wrap up?
I would just say love everyone as much as you can.
Aww. Love that, Charlie.
Imagine if everyone just loved as many people as they could all the time. That would be
all
nice.
the time. Oh my god, it would just cure the world, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Corona is no match for love.
The power of love.
Oh, well, thank you so much again, and I'll chat to you soon.
Speak to you, Mads. It's been a pleasure.
Bye. I hope you enjoyed my chat with Charlie. Please let me know on my Instagram at madsworld.mp3 if you have any thoughts or stories of your own to share. And check out my new website. It's madsworld.co. Love and elbow taps. Peace.